It's the Morning Star Drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly. So let's realign, just listen and fill your mind.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is the Morning Star Drive. I guess the New Year's edition 2026, January 1st. I hope that you guys have really had an amazing and awesome New Year's. I just want to let you know we did a video with me, Rachel, and Eddie, and we kind of just like talked about a lot of different things about 2025 and what we want to do for 2026. It ended up being like almost 2 hours, so I split it into two. And we're going to be listening to part one today, and then tomorrow we will finish off with part two. All right, so let's get into the interview. Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to the Morning Star Drive on 117.8. Yes, it is New Year's Day in Asia and New Year's Eve. Well, we could say it's a bit of both, but I hope that you guys have really enjoyed 2025. And welcome in 2026. Lots of things to talk about, a lot of things to do, but because this is kind of the first episode, or I don't know how, wait, today is what, the 30th?
Mhm.
Oh, okay, so the 31st, yeah, so this will be like, this is actually going to be the January 1st, video. So, first and foremost, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year!
Happy 2026. So as you can see, it's me, Rachel, and Eddie, and we are the three that comprise of MSD, and we've done it for the last year. So very grateful and thankful for everyone, especially Rachel and Eddie, for their hard work for Tuesdays. Even though, if you guys know what they, it's not easy. Even doing one episode a week, there's always things that come up, and very grateful and thankful that they were consistent and they were able to take responsibility and do it every single week. So I am very, very grateful, thankful. Thank you. Yay. Good job, everyone there. All right.
You're welcome.
So how are you guys doing? It's been a while.
Take it away, Rachel.
All right, I'll go first. Let me see. How's it been going? Well, it's the end of the new year, or I should say 2025. Super
Mhm.
excited to start off 2026. There's been a lot of things that have been happening, both good and bad on this side of things. You see, I'm in black. This is intentional. I'm in my period of mourning. My
Yeah.
cat, I had to put her down a couple weeks
Oh,
ago.
are you serious?
Yeah, I really did. She
Oh,
was very old. I talked about it on my segment a couple of weeks ago, but I had to put her
yeah.
down the first week of December. She was having heart murmurs and congestion in her nose. So she was leaking and she was just, it was time to go. She wasn't really having a high quality of life.
Oh
So it
man.
was incredibly sad. I've had her for literally as soon as she came out of the womb. That was one of my very first cats. So I've had her for about 17 years. So
Whoa. Oh, wait, 17 years as in 17 years of human years.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't
Dang.
know how old she was in cat years. She maybe 100.
Yeah. I don't even know if it matters. It's just,
Right.
it's been more than half your life.
Yeah, pretty much. So that was really hard. And
Mm.
then we had many car problems, but also I'd like to testify that recently my car is also super old. My my father, he fixed it about 2 weeks ago. It was having really big car troubles, which is incredibly unfortunate because I decided to quit my job so I could run Providence a couple months ago. So I don't
Mm.
have the resources to really pay or buy a new car. And
Mm.
so when it first broke, my father was willing to pay. But then unfortunately, because, women were really good drivers, and sometimes it just happens we, kind of hit curbs or we clip curbs. I happened, because that's just what women do. I
It'd
happened
be
to do
funny. It's
that.
like it just happens we hit people
Just
and and babies.
right, that's just the natural order. That's the 70-30%. It's a part of
Mm.
that. Um, but when I did that, my steering wheel was already kind of out of alignment. So when I
Right.
hit this curb literally a week ago, it locked my steering wheel. So I'm driving and I couldn't turn my car.
Ooh.
So I was in the middle of the street trying not to freak out. thankfully though, I was close to the church, so I was able to really just like call on the angels and have them gear me or guide me into
Mm.
the parking lot of the church. But I was so frustrated because my dad had just fixed it the week before, pretty much, and now
Uh,
it's this big issue. Um, it was really bad. My brother also had the same issue, and it cost him about $3,000. So I was expecting it to be that, if not more. So I was freaking out. And then I decided to have my friend and I pray for my car, over my car. She thought I was kidding, but we really did end up praying over my car.
well,
And
this is
then
something that only girls do. I'm sorry.
she thought I was joking. We were having a meeting and I was like, dude, let's go. We need to pray for my car. Like, I just broke my car. And she was like, okay. So we left and she told me, she said, Rachel, I thought you just wanted to get away from those people. And I was like, no, girl, we're going to pray for my car right now. So we put our hands on the dash and I was like, God, please. So
Wow.
we prayed for it. And then I happened yesterday to also, we went to pre-dawn, my mother and I, and we happened to both be praying for my car at the same time. I didn't realize. After pre-dawn, I felt really, really inspired to check on my car and see, because I had just left it at church for the past week and a half or so, because I didn't want to deal with it or bother with it. But after praying at pre-dawn, I went to check, and immediately as soon as I got in the car and put my hands on the steering wheel, I was like, I think this is gonna work. Like something feels different. And so when I turned the car, it wasn't locked anymore, and I was actually able to steer it. And so I took it to the shop today, and they said, actually, yeah, it's perfectly fine. We'll just give you a short alignment, and it was nowhere close to being $3,000. So something I could afford.
Nice.
And I'm so grateful because I really, in Texas, especially in Houston, there's no public transportation. You have to have a car. And we were talking about ministry before. It's ministry. The university is going to open up soon. If I don't have a car, I'm not going to be able to go on campus to evangelize. So that was something I was really
Mm.
excited about as well. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to share that. Thank you,
Well,
God.
you made me realize even more deeply that, the 70-30%. If I want
Mhm.
to become like tap in more to my feminine side, I should probably break my car and get into an accident.
But I think you already do
Yeah,
that.
and no, and then go pray over it with a friend. Yeah, you gotta call someone up, be like, okay, we gotta go put our hands on.
Oh, and then
I just
also make
never
sure
see.
you make sure you name your car as well, so you really give it its own,
What's the name of your car, by the way?
Carmen the car.
Carmen the car. Ooh,
Carmen the
okay.
car.
Well, no, but that's actually amazing though. Like, I don't think guys would ever think about that. Like,
Mm.
we would never think about praying. We'd just be like, oh, the steering wheel's locked. There's a key that you press and it unlocks it, and then it's back to normal. It's
Well,
completely different way of thinking.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, come with me to like look into under my hood to check if everything's okay. Like, it
Mm.
won't ever be to be like, let's put our hands on top of the hood and then pray away the problem underneath.
it worked. It worked, guys.
Hey, that's the main thing is it worked. That's the main thing. Eddie, what about you? Well, kind of tell everyone where you're at right now.
Oh, well, right now I'm in Korea. I've been here for about the past week and a half or so. It's been a really amazing time, but it's been super fast paced. Like we're meeting people everywhere,
Mm,
and it's a lot of non-Providence people this time because all of our Providence family members a lot of them were there for the blessing or for dinner afterwards. So and there wasn't a lot of explanation that was necessary for that. But
mm,
this time, since we're like officially getting married, we're meeting all of our non-Providence family. And both of us
nice.
have big families. Like our grandparents had like a lot of kids. So there's like a lot of aunts and uncles involved. Um, and yesterday we met with my wife's boss, who's also an attorney. So he had a
Oh,
lot
wow.
of questions. And he uses like hard Korean. He uses like Korean that's like based on like Chinese characters that most Korean
Ooh.
people don't even understand.
Oh,
So I was
really?
like, I have no idea what he's asking me, but he was really curious to know about America and about law school in the States. So I was sharing those things with him. But yeah, we'll be going to Wilmington in when this airs. I'll be
Mm,
up in the Holy Land. Um, But yeah, it was like last night. I think my mother-in-law, she was saying we have so much to be grateful for this year, and that's
Mm,
when it dawned on me that oh yeah, so much has happened in 2025.
mm,
Like Rachel said, some bad, but so much good. And it really felt important to remember that because it's been a long year, and
right.
I don't know how you guys feel, but it's been a long year.
Yeah.
Um, and even as we started to record today, I remember that actually three of us were sort of together at this time at the beginning of the year for the second gen retreat in Georgia.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
That's
right.
true.
That's right.
That feels
but
so
it
long
seems
ago.
like yeah, I feel like so much has happened between
Yeah.
between.
Well, yeah. Well, I think, if you just put it like, think about it this way, what's happened since then? Eddie's got married. Like that's like even that
That's
is
crazy.
yeah like I can't even I don't know what to call Eddie. I'm like he's like Deacon Eddie or something like that. What do I call
Deacon
him?
Eddie.
Yeah, and he's like half my age. Chipsanim.
Have people started calling you that? Are you used to that?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I think yeah, people are quite confused on what to call me, but yeah, I'm fine either way. Oh PCI, this is
Mm,
like a point of distinction between guys and girls again. When I was in Houston actually for the recent Something tour, um,
yeah,
like, because I'm wearing like a ring, but it's not
yeah.
like a big wedding ring, and I have the Providence ring, but it's kind of small, so I have to resize it. But
Mm.
I have the ring on, and I wasn't like going around telling everyone that I got blessed. So not everyone knows unless like I've spoken to them directly.
How do people not
Um,
know that you're married?
I don't
It's
go
like
around like
they don't have your Instagram? They don't, are they hiding under a rock or something?
well, I don't really post on Instagram either, so I haven't posted anything since. And I think one thing that we were kind of waiting for was to tell all of our family, our non-Providence
Mm,
family. That was like
right.
step one. Yeah, so I haven't posted anything that was like ostensibly like, oh, he's married kind of thing. Um, but
I
when
saw
we
your
were in
marriage
Houston,
photos though.
oh yeah, but those are like all for within Providence.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Mm,
And I've been sending them out like more individually rather than like in mass to everyone.
right,
Here's
right.
all my stuff. But
Mm,
um, when I was in Texas, in Houston, I was at the church. We were quite early. I was with a bunch of guys,
right.
and none of the guys in like the hours and hours I was with them
Mm.
noticed that I was wearing like the wedding ring. Like, guys aren't thinking about that. We're not looking at each other's fingers. And then,
No, we have
Hold on,
no
guys, look at
attention.
my nails. Ta-da!
Looks fabulous. Oh my
Thank you. I did
goodness.
them myself. Thank you.
But it was so funny because when we were there for hours, and eventually one of the Blessed family come, people who we know, and
Mm,
the deaconess, she noticed like instantly in like
right.
3 seconds of me seeing her, she's like, Eddie, did you get blessed? And then all the guys who I was with for hours are like, what? And then and then like she was like, yeah, how did you guys not notice he's wearing a wedding ring? And then yeah, like all the guys like they noticed like I think like halfway through the day, even though I like done
Mm,
everything with them that day.
jeez. Well, I think that's quite normal for guys though. We don't have a huge attention to detail, right? Because if we did, that's kind of, you know.
Well, you're
His
increasing
mouth
your
made the
seventy
shape
thirty.
kind of.
Yeah. Oh
Uh,
my gosh, did you get your nails done? What'd you do to your hair? It changed, right? And then all the guys would be like, what is wrong with this guy? All right, guys. I got a question for you guys. Well, I guess it's easy for Eddie. This question is easy for Eddie because, there's only one major thing that happened to him, like the major thing that couldn't be, you know. But I guess I'll start with you, Rachel. Is for you your most defining moment of 2025? Most defining moment. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you have
oh,
a
she pulled
book.
out a journal. Oh,
Oh
she
my
has a
God.
record. Oh my.
That's
Is this
only
another
girls would do
female
that.
characteristics?
She's-
Hold on.
Let's take a look, guys.
So actually, it's funny, y'all listening. Pastor
Mm,
Sky didn't tell us anything about what we would be talking about in specifics today. So I knew
right.
it would be very on the spot. And I'm a very not spontaneous person, as Eddie and Pastor Sky know. I'm
Yeah.
very organized and
Mm.
type A. So I thought, it'd be a good idea to get my journal, which I've been documenting journal entries over the year. I don't do it every
Wow.
day, just like
Right.
every 2 months. Um, really big things that happened that I will cover.
Mm.
Um, and I'm gonna read all of it. No, I'm kidding. I think for me, it was. There's a couple of really important things that happened. I'll say that they're all related to either second gen or the Sunset tour that we had.
Mm.
Because I think for myself, those are the moments where I feel most connected to Providence. And even though I'm connected to just like people and individual, because like in the message said, we all have divine nature within us. Whenever we have those moments, retreats, or the second gen spiritual leadership program that we had,
Mm.
it's like everyone's divine nature comes together, and then I can really feel the Holy Trinity and the Holy Spirit in that way. So I think for me, one of the really big defining features for 2025 was helping to plan and lead the 2025 Second Gen Elevate Boot Camp, which I have a little picture here.
Oh,
I made a,
nice.
it's super cute. I made a postcard for all the second gen that went, and we wrote a little note on the back. Um, but yeah, it was a really the larger retreat that we had at the beginning of this year in 2025, I really enjoyed, but it was more so I mean, we had very spiritual moments, but then we also had kind of the fun physical moments, which I really enjoyed, and had a lot of time. I had a lot of fun planning and doing those things, but I was only doing one part of that retreat. Because we had
Mm.
Eddie who did, one of the lectures, Minister Heon who kind of planned in general, and then Pastor Grace also who was helping to plan the retreat. But for the Second Gen Elevate Boot Camp, I really had to like get in and plan almost everything, all the curriculum and the assignments that we did. And there was one activity that we had the second Jew that was, oh, I remember it so clearly. We had the second generation write a letter to Sunsanim, which we would then, we plan to compile all the letters or take one letter as kind of the exemplar one and then send it to Sunsanim.
Mm.
And at that point, it was like maybe the second or third day, and we're all exhausted. But I was so moved at how much the second gen really poured their heart and really put an effort. At this point, because everyone was so tired, I was kind of expecting them to blow it off a little bit and not take it super seriously. Because, for myself, maybe at that age, because the age range was 15 to about, mid 20s. I may have been like, if I was on that younger spectrum, I would have been like, whatever, they're not going to really send it to Sunset, and I can just write whatever.
Right.
But afterwards, and we did tell the second gen we would do this, we ended up reading and going over the letters so that we could compile them and send them to Sunset.
Right.
And the every single letter that I read, myself and Minister Hyun, we were just sobbing because they really poured out their heart, confessing their faith to this history, confessing how they acknowledge that they have sin, but they want to do more, they want to become better, how they look at Sunsanim and he is their example, he is their role model, even if they don't have that in their day-to-day life. Because a lot of the second generation here in America, they don't have big churches like in Korea. And even though we have a second gen department, the management, it's really difficult to do it online, right?
Mm.
At such a large scale. But seeing that heart that they had in the letters and how they just put pen to paper, it was so moving. And there's a picture I took of Minister Heon where she's just like sobbing that I'll never forget. I'll never forget that image in my mind. So I would say that being inspired by second generation, helping them and them showing me and helping me as well through that experience of the love that
Mm.
we have for this history and
Amen.
sunset. So yeah.
Awesome. What about you, Eddie? By the way, when Rachel talks, because this week's message is all about like masculinity, femininity. There is like such a clear distinction. Like in my head, it's so clear between masculine and feminine, right? Because like, the guys would be like, "Oh, that's great," right? And then you guys are like, "And we're just crying, and we're like crying, and we were so moved." Like the guys just like, "Oh, dude, I was moved. I wanted to punch something," right? It's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I want to wrestle you," kind of thing like that. But she's like,
Sobbing. We were sobbing
uh,
at like
Pulling out
2
the
a.m.
journal with
sobbing.
butterflies on it.
I know. It's like, we would be pulling out our iPads and like, let me just check something. Like, yeah, yeah, I did something that day
Yeah,
last week.
I think there's some photos from that day. I don't know.
Exactly. And she's pulling out things that's on the wall in front of her. Do you remember this? And I wrote on this. And I'm just like, but part of it is, I think to myself sometimes, like, oh, that would have been cool if I had that. Because it's more attention to detail. Like, if I had those pictures, it would remind me, and it's on like a cork board in front of me kind of thing, you know? Like, that would be kind of cool. Like, oh, that would be something that would definitely be make things even more easier to remember, or that feeling would come back again. Not the crying though. Yeah, yeah.
You have seen those Instagram reels where it's like, remember your why? That's what it is. It's
Oh,
remembering your
okay.
why, having
Well,
having these pictures up here.
the great thing about even though Eddie may not be able to have that same attention to detail, is he'll have a better half that can do that for him, right?
Yeah, that's actually been a huge thing because I was meeting with my wife's boss yesterday, right? And
Mm,
so she works in a law firm, like helping out this attorney, and
mm.
she has so much attention to detail. Even our like entire month in Korea, she's like planned it down to the T. Um,
Your
and he was
wife?
mentioning, yeah, like
Oh.
she's super like in the MBTI stuff. She's like super J, so she plans like everything out.
Mm.
And it's actually a load off my shoulders. And the attorney was saying the same thing, like that his
I don't
wife is
have to do
also like that too.
anything.
I
Yeah, I
know.
don't have
I'm
to do
just
anything.
lazy,
Yeah,
so I'll
I
let her
just
do everything.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's actually really great because she's not doing it because she like feels like spurred on to do it by someone. That's just her natural character.
Right.
Um, yeah, it really makes things like a lot easier.
Mm.
Because there's so many little things that I would have to do otherwise that I don't have to do. Um, but yeah, I was gonna say I think this video should be studied in reference to this week's message, so that
I think so.
guys can figure out girls and girls can figure out dudes.
Yeah.
um, yeah, because it's actually so important, right? And I think that's the biggest thing for me from this year. Like as Peace Guy mentioned, getting blessed. It was even like I don't know who I was talking to about this, but even the day before you get blessed, and then like even day one, it's like night and day. Um,
Mhm.
Mm.
yeah, in terms of like the way you think and stuff, and all the things that you know in theory, when you have to like put it into practice, it's like so different. Like all of the things that even this week's message about communicating and understanding, and using the part of you that is like maybe makes more sense to that other person to communicate with. It's actually, it's much harder in practice, right, than in theory. Like we know that that's something that we have to do. And I
Mm.
think, as Rachel was talking about second generation, when you're 15 or so and you look at your parents arguing and stuff, you're like, how come they're arguing all the time? Somebody talks about this in the message like every single week, right? But then when you're actually in those shoes, you realize, oh,
Mm.
it's actually much harder. And then I think it was probably around the time that I was like, early 20s, that I really start to appreciate my parents more because I realized it's not easy. Um,
Mm.
and like, to put this word into practice. And so really the biggest test is that test of time, right? Like, can you make it to the end? Can you make it for 10, 20, 30 years, right?
Right.
And yeah, you may make mistakes along the way, but like, can you persevere and not give up and go to the end? Yeah, so I'm really grateful for this year. Really grateful
Mm.
for the MSC too. As Peace Guy mentioned at the beginning, and this falls on us too because maybe we could record earlier in the week too. But like always on Sundays, like when the recording time comes, I'm like always at the airport or like somewhere kind of crazy, and it's like I'm coming back from a red eye flight and recording it at 4 a.m. or something like that.
Mm.
But still very grateful for the whole journey this year.
I will
Well,
say Eddie has
mm.
taught me patience with I'm like, is he going to tell me I have to do the whole episode? So I'm like waiting. And I don't want to reach out to be like, I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait. So thank you, Eddie.
She's preparing to deal with guys.
Yeah. And she's preparing right now, she's preparing her 30% to understand and connect, with us. Yeah. But I think it's like that's something that I think I actually wanted to ask you that question too, is like say because Rachel's out of the screen right now. For you, Eddie, for MSD, what is like the things that you took from it? Like doing MSD every Tuesday. How many times, when did you guys actually start again? Like doing every Tuesday?
Gosh, I mean, I think for me, it's been at least. I mean, I have all the episodes, but it's
Yeah,
been a long time. It's been a few years now, actually.
right.
Um, yeah, but I know I
But
asked Rachel during our time in New York, I think, during the soccer tournament.
Yeah.
oh wow, so
Yeah.
then that's well how many months has it been?
I have the day.
All right. And the funny thing is, it's even the cadence. Like if you were a guy, that would be the gayest thing. You'd be like, I have the day. Like that cadence is so I have the day. Even that is just like, all right.
I just bring joy and light to everyone's life. That's
Oh,
what
I
women
agree.
do.
I agree.
But
There's not
maybe I
because
like thinking
yeah.
about this message. Actually, maybe it's actually quite affirming for people who always felt that they were more masculine for girls, or like, and they kind of felt like they were more feminine. It's like, oh no, I still have masculine traits, or I still have feminine traits. It's just
Mm.
I have more of the other traits. So I don't know. Maybe those people who feel that way can feel it's more of a strength than a weakness or something.
Oh no, that's definitely a weakness.
You know
So
who
what?
you are.
Yeah. What's the exact date, Rachel?
Let's see. I have my first 2G Talks on September 10th. That was when it was uploaded of 2024.
Dang. So it has been like a year and like 3, 4 months.
Hmm.
Oh wow. Okay, so it's been a long time.
I didn't even realize it's been that long, honestly.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's been like I'm running on over 5.5 years on MSD at the moment, which is like for me is I find it I didn't think I would be doing it this long. I really
Mhm.
didn't. I'll just be like, it's something. It was because I have ADHD, stuck in a little room in Malaysia during the lockdown, and if I didn't do it, I think I would have gone crazy, like having not having anything to do, all day kind of thing, right? But yeah, what about you, Rachel? What did you take out of it doing MSD for the last year and a bit?
I realized I had more to say than I thought I did. I think that was one of the things that when Eddie first came up to me, yeah, during our New York, was it a retreat or I can't, maybe soccer
It was a
tournament?
soccer tournament. Yeah, it was a soccer tournament.
Right. And he asked me to do it, and I was like, I have nothing to say. Like, I have nothing to share. Nobody's gonna want to listen. And I
Oh,
kind of ran
sure,
away
a
from
girl has
him.
nothing to say. Give me a break.
And I ran away from him, and he's like, no, 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 we'll talk about it more later, okay? And I was like, okay, like, all right. Um, but yeah, from doing MSD, I realized sometimes you're not going to be, and I think this is with everything, I guess, getting blessed, lecturing, evangelizing, having kids, you're not going to be 100% ready or perfect
Mm,
for whatever task that you're about to do. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't still put yourself out there. It's a matter of trying and taking action and
right.
seeing if you are able to do it and acknowledging, yeah, you may have some flaws and you may not be perfect 100%, but if you just keep doing it and keep trying it, then naturally you'll become more confident. So definitely I've gained confidence in sharing and opening up through MSD, I think, which I'm really grateful for. Um, it's another aspect where I've never really talked about my faith in such a open way, really. Because
Mm,
I gained the ability to, as a teacher when I was working, to really just talk openly about science and knowledge and facts and classroom management, more physical side. But MSD gave me that outlet that I never had before where I could actively talk about my faith. And so that
Mm.
was really helpful. And I think that really attributed also to me being more confident in learning the language of the Bible studies or the language of the spirituality so that when I'm teaching Bible studies and lecturing, I have more confidence. Like it can come more naturally because I've been doing it on MSD for so long.
Mm.
So yeah, that's, I would say, in general, what I've gained through doing MSD.
Hey, Eddie, I don't, did you share your part about
Uh,
what you gained?
no, no, not specifically.
Yeah. What about you? Like, what are the things that you kind of like gained from it, or what you realized from doing MSD?
Well, the biggest part, I think, like looking even at Rachel joining in September of last year and looking at it, is like realizing just how that everyone in Providence has their own story. Um, and that's like really important to consider. And I think it's really important for leaders. So I think you mentioned this in the message a few weeks ago, how leaders, it would be great if they could be fully formed before they run, but that's not the case, right? So you kind of have to learn on the job. You have to learn on the spot. So,
Mm.
some people in Providence, they've been leaders since they were in Providence, right? And I think like sometimes when that's the case, there's like things you don't know about people and about the world and stuff like that, right? And so, even among your church like congregation, there might be members you never talk to, right? But God brought that person to Providence, and so they
Mm.
have their story. And so from the MSC, I realized, it's not just Rachel, me, and P Sky that have something to share, but actually everybody does. And the last year into the last 2 years or so, I've been taking more time to listen to people at church who I never really talked to before.
Mm.
Um, and I've been really kind of harping on this a lot actually for second generation. Because when you're a second gen growing up in Providence, you kind of grow underneath all of these adults. Um, and unless the adult talks to you first, you're not going to go talk to those adults, right? And so that means that you're maybe talking to like either the most extroverted adults or like the ones who like have that capacity to talk to children. But not
Mm.
everyone's like that. And so I really encourage like especially young people to go talk to like the older people at church because you just
Mm.
learn, you find out so many things about them. Like I don't know if I shared this with the both of you, and this is kind of tied to the MSD and just like to this experience overall too. But after I ran in Hawaii for 6 7 months, and I went back to San Francisco, there was a member there, a JS member, a guy who I never really talked to because he was always quite a bit older than me, and he initially really came to church because his wife learned everything, and he was kind of tagging along to the wife. So I never really talked to him. But my
Mm.
mom, invited me to their house, and I was like, like, do I gotta go? Because she needed a ride. She didn't want to
Right.
drive that far. Yeah, so I was taking her, but I was like studying for the LSAT. I was like, I don't really want to be bothered. But she made me do that several times. So one of the times I went in, because they're very, welcoming. They wanted me to come eat with them and stuff. And the wife's a really good cook. And then I found
Mm.
out that he's from Hawaii. And I never knew that because I never asked.
Mm.
I never talked to him. Right. So I like started sharing all these things about Hawaii and he could relate because he's actually from the island. And get this, he's actually from the same high school. I don't know if I'm allowed to name drop, but as Elder Brian.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
Ooh.
and he's a year older. So they were like in high school at the same time. Uh, and I messaged that to Elder Brian too, and he was so shocked. He was like, "Yeah, I remember that guy." And so it's
He
something that I
knows
really,
him?
yeah, he remembered. He like pulled out the yearbook and he
Oh,
had his photo
wow.
in the yearbook. So there's like all of those kinds of things, and so I really encourage like anyone who goes to any church to
Mm.
connect with the members and to have that experience because everyone has a story. Like it's not just the outspoken people.
Mm.
It's not just the people who like become leaders who have some amazing story or something amazing to share. But yeah, but talk to all those people, and I'm sure they're there everywhere that we are,
Mm.
whether it's Houston or wherever too.
Yeah, talk to old people. That's why Rachel
Yes.
and Eddie talk to me.
Yeah, that's the only reason why.
Yeah, I know. It's like geriatrics. They're supporting the senior citizens and stuff.
I go to read to him.
We're
She's
keeping
like
him
that.
somewhat sane.
I'd be like, Rachel, read me the Bible. Nice. Yeah, I think it's like 2025. I'm looking back at this. 2025, just in my opinion, I think it is like maybe, this is my opinion only, like the final recovery year of 2023. Like that's what my feeling is. Is like this was the end point of like all that trauma and craziness that happened 2023. And I felt like maybe 2025 is kind of the final recovering, and then 2026 we can just go out and run kind of thing like that. But that's what I really felt. And like my question to you guys now is what do you think is for 2025 was uh, the hardest challenge for you, but that shaped you, right? So not just difficult. It was just a really difficult challenge, but that challenge was able to shape you a lot more for 2025.
Mm.
Yeah.
I can go first.
I'm sure because you don't talk, you don't know what to say.
Yeah, I have nothing to say, so I have to go first.
Yeah.
So Eddie doesn't upstage me, right?
Yeah.
I think that for myself, 2025 was actually my first official year, first time really ever, where I started lecturing.
Mm. Oh,
And it wasn't just like,
wow. That's
yeah, it wasn't
cool.
just one-on-one
Yeah.
lecturing, but it was also like group
Yeah.
Bible
It's
study with
super
people.
late, but better late than never.
Exactly. I can act as a role model to everybody who
Yeah.
is
Hey,
like
even
me.
at this age, you guys can lecture.
Exactly.
Wait a second. How old are you again? You're like 23, 22?
No, thank you. 25.
Oh, 25. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
25 years old, and I have been putting lecturing off for a while because
Mm,
I'm somebody who's very much so like, no, I don't want to do that. No, I'm not going
right.
to do that. I don't want to do that. And it's
Mm,
always either my mom or external forces, and especially the Holy Trinity, that push me in the direction that I need to go. And
right.
I've seen that time and time again in my life. And especially when it came to lecturing, I was always very adamant, like, no, I'm never going to lecture. Like, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to
Wow.
do it. I refuse.
Why would you not lecture? Like, what would be the thing that would be like, oh, there's no way I'm doing this.
I'm now that I have started lecturing, it's a little bit difficult to recall why I was so adamant against it.
Mm.
Maybe it has to do with like second gen trauma or uh,
Second gen trauma?
that's a
What
thing,
does that
right,
mean?
Eddie? That's right. Am I crazy?
But what kind of trauma? Like from lecturing? I mean, like that's
I think
I don't
it's more
understand that.
so being like afraid of slander.
Oh, so if you lecture and then someone will slander you.
Yeah. There's
Oh,
that fear
okay.
that you'll be like, at least for myself and some of the other second gen that I've talked to that are kind of like around my age when everything was going on, like
Oh.
2019 and then 2023. It's like there really is an ingrained deep fear of like not wanting to speak out
Mm,
because then people will find out or that they'll know. And maybe I'm speaking too generally. Maybe that was just an internal thing that I internalized constantly, where it was like I couldn't be my true self. I didn't even
mm,
want people to know that I was Christian because I didn't want them to have a preconceived conception of myself that wasn't true. Because you can tell people about yourself and then naturally
yeah.
people will create an image of you. And so perhaps that's what it was, where it was like, if I talk about it, they could slander. What if I say it wrong? What if I don't really know? And,
Mm,
I struggled in the past with my faith in general. So it was like, well, what if I start learning the lectures or trying to teach people, but I'm not 100% in my faith? How
yeah.
could I even do that type of
Right.
thing? So it
Yeah.
was a multiple layer thing. But I don't know what was the thing that finally decided and I gained the confidence to do it. I think it was more so just like a let's go ahead and do it. My mom's here. She's like, it's me. She's pointing at herself.
It is me.
You know what? I'm not surprised she said that.
What are you saying, Sky?
I'm not saying anything. And once
But
again, we see the difference between masculinity and femininity.
right? I think there was multiple things that encouraged me to be able to lecture. And now that I've done it quite a few times, I do feel really confident, and I actually
Mm.
really enjoy doing it. So
Hey, what was your
that
what
was
was your what was your first lesson and what was that first experience? Like the first lecture you did?
it was I'm pretty sure I remember.
Yeah, you probably have it written in your journal with the
I have
date
it
and
written on
time.
my wall. I do. I have it written on my I printed out the 30 lessons
Yeah,
because I know evangelism is really difficult, and I know Pastor Scott, you've talked about this in the past,
yeah,
where passing somebody shouldn't be the only merit that you receive for evangelism.
right,
But a lot of times you can, and I've talked to a lot of members where they feel really hopeless with evangelism. And
right.
so I told myself I never wanted to become that way just because I can't pass
Mm,
someone. So I'm going to
right.
keep record of every single time I teach so that if somebody's like, what's your evangelism merit? I can be like, I've taught this lesson over 10 times, this lesson 20 times. Like, I'm showing
Nice.
myself I'm actually doing stuff and taking action,
Mm.
so I'll feel better. So my first lesson was Peter and the fish.
Oh, that's me too. That was my first. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, that was my first one. How
It
was
was
it?
so,
That first teaching,
I was very nervous.
right?
I did kind of what I used to do when was teaching for the first time, where I literally wrote word for word what I would say,
Mm,
and then I memorized it. And just because to make sure, I also printed out my script. So I do PowerPoints. I know y'all have different opinions on that, but I had my PowerPoint here for the newcomer to look at, and then I would have my script kind of behind it. So
oh,
like just
nice,
in
nice.
case, yeah, if I needed to, I could, glance, figure out where I'm going so that it flows really freely.
Right.
Oh, let me lower my hand. Um, but in doing that, in creating my script and sitting there and trying to memorize it, I actually ended up memorizing it word for word. So it was a lot simpler than I was expecting because I had practiced it over and over and over again for like,
Mm,
I would sit there and literally where I am right now and have my script on the side and then go over the PowerPoint like I would if it was a newcomer. So I would practice it for like 2, 3 hours constantly.
whoa, that's
So
crazy. Yeah, I
yeah,
just I would have never I prepared, but it just not it was so different. Yeah.
yeah. So when I
Oh,
first
by the
got
way,
up,
just want to let you know
yeah,
one thing. Uh, when I did my first lecture, Peter and the Fish, I listened to your dad's lecture.
no way.
Yeah, yeah.
I want
It
to
was like
listen to it.
four
I've
people I
never heard
listened
it.
to. Yeah. Oh, it was really good. Yeah, that's why it was, yeah, either way. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so after preparing that much, whenever I went up to teach for the first time, Peter and the Fish, I want to say the first 4 or 5 slides that I was going through, which is all like introduction and stuff.
Right.
I remember even now very clearly a moment of like, did I cover everything in my script? Because I didn't want to sit there and like
Mm,
read it,
right.
or like glance at it too much. So actively, I was not looking at it. But that caused
Right.
me to kind of stress and be like, did I miss something? Like, so that's what I remember for the first couple of slides where I was not as confident and a little bit hesitant because I was like, oh, I hope I covered everything. I feel like I said something different in my script that was better.
Right.
But then after I decided, I consciously was like, this is not going to go well if I keep going back and second guessing myself. I just need to do it. So
Right.
when I let go of, is this going to be perfect? Naturally, all the practice and the hours that I had put in prior, it just started coming out. And so,
Mm,
yeah, it was really good. yeah, I was really proud of myself teaching. I did it. I've taught Peter and the Fish the most. I did it as a group Bible study, and then I even taught it recently. Not too recently, but I taught it to where at one point I almost started like crying with this newcomer who I was teaching. And I didn't experience that before, but I was so moved.
Right.
Maybe another feminine thing. But I was really shocked where I was almost crying because it's the same script, kind of slightly different,
Right.
but it's the same every time. So there was this different, the only variable that was different was this newcomer. And yet here I was kind of being overcome with emotion, and I was really surprised by that. So even though it's the same Bible study, I was able to realize, wow, there really is a difference with the life that you're teaching or the environment that it is. So that was my big thing.
Awesome. Eddie, when did you first start lecturing?
Gosh.
Hey, hold
Well,
on. Can you check your notes and check your calendar to see the exact date when it came out?
well, like growing up in San Francisco, they made us do a lot of things from when we were SS to, try different things. So, I've definitely like,
Did you, when you say they made us, is like they forced you?
Yeah, it sounds like you were
yeah,
forced
Yeah.
against your will.
yeah, but positively forced.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Voluntold to do things.
Yeah, voluntold. That's cool. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
I think when you're children, there's no other way to do it. Like you can't children don't know what they really want. They don't know what's best for themselves.
No, it really was extremely helpful growing up. I actually really appreciated it. I mean, so they started you off with with Sunstop many, many times, So
Right.
like I definitely did that from the time I was SS. One big thing that, it's not common anymore, and I don't think we do, but during Wednesday services, I think like back
Yeah.
in like 2012 or something like that, they would have a couple of the SS on rotation delivering a summary of the Sunday message before
Oh,
the
nice.
preacher would speak. Yeah, and that was a great experience. I know we don't have that anymore, but it was like the first time, and the adults were shocked too because they were like surprised at how well the kids did at the time. But it was really impactful doing that, and it's kind of like what you were saying, Peace Guy. I think kids really need a lot of experience, even praying aloud, like and praying for people and stuff like that. Like it's like if you don't do it at a certain point, it's hard to start, right? But if you start from an early age or like from your like when you first come to Providence, it's much easier. But I think
Right.
it's so important. Yeah, so I started doing it around that point, and in
Oh, hold on. What
college,
age? What age was that?
probably like, well, I didn't in 2012. I was like
But is that lecturing
13.
newcomers
Yeah, yeah.
or
Did your first
No,
lecture was? Yeah.
lecturing newcomers is probably in college.
Okay.
Yeah, because like I went to San Diego, and we had maybe like 12 members in San Diego.
Mm.
Um, but the unique thing about San Diego was we had the most amount of campus members that attended the same university. Um, like I think other regions they definitely have more campus members, but they're like scattered throughout different colleges. But we were
Right.
all at the one school.
Mm.
So, and because we were really trying to teach guys, like I had to sit in for every Bible study because our pastor was a female, and so she
Right.
was like, "Oh yeah, you got to be there." And so sometimes I would teach during that time too. So that's probably my earliest experience. I was probably maybe like 19 or something like 19, 20, something like
Nice. Me too. I was 19 with my first lecture. Yeah. Not 25. 19.
that. Yeah, girls mature later. Just kidding.
Guys are simple. They're like, do it. All right, let's do it. And then we'll just go
Oh.
straight in.
I need more time to perfect it. It's a gem.
That's true. But that's a difference too. It's like kind of what you said before is when you started the podcast, you're thinking that you need to be perfect or you need to do it, at that point before you go in. Where I think guys are a little bit where we just kind of go in head first, right? And if it gets smashed, it gets smashed, and then we keep going again, kind of thing. Oh, that's
Stick your head through
interesting.
the hole first, see what's in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Well, what about you, Eddie? What's the big like 2025? was the thing that what challenge shaped you the most this year? I guess your answer might be the same for every single question, whether it's good or
No,
bad.
it can't be. You love your wife and she's the best thing that happened to you.
Oh, come on, guys. This is live. You have no choice but to say that. Once I turn it off, then we'll ask the real questions. By the way, is your wife there?
Oh, she's in the room. She's sleeping.
Oh. Hey, don't put her. You gotta say stuff. You're on live. You gotta tell that
Oh,
she's praying right
she's
now. She's reading the
yeah, she's reading
Bible.
the Bible very
Right now, she's
diligently.
on her knees praying for the podcast so that you do really well. She's the supporting feature of your life.
No,
No,
she
but
has the
she
flashcards to tell him what to say.
Yeah.
but she does do everything. It's quite amazing. Like how quickly she moves to handle a situation is very very amazing. But preparing for the blessing was a big challenge, and so it's like more than that, right? It's not just a blessing, but I'm in school, right? And I'm in law
Mm,
school, and right, law school is hard. It's like, and I don't say that lightly, but it's like way harder. If college is like way harder than high school,
yeah.
like man, law school is hard. And so people definitely ask like way before this, like, oh, you sure you want to go like while you're still in school? Like, don't you want to wait for the next one? And I think it was actually
Mm,
the AP staff who did the AP blessing this time. They were like,
mm,
oh, like initially when Eddie said he was gonna sign up, I was gonna be like, don't you want to wait a little bit? She was saying like, oh, like we should have had Eddie run more before he went to the blessing
right.
this time too. But it was really hard because it was at the same time as law school. But this goes back to like having a lot of those experiences, whether it's through your own lived experience, but even through like listening to the word and really understanding life too. I realize there's no good time. Like if I don't go this time because I'm in law school, the next time I'm going to be like preparing for the bar exam. And during that
Right.
time, most other people, they shut out everything. Like for the couple months they're studying, they don't do anything. They just study all day, maybe go on a walk midday, they just go back to studying. So then because of that, I'd feel like, oh, it's not a good time because of that. And then the next time it'd be like the first few years, maybe working at a law firm or a new place. And I'd be like, oh, it's not a good time because I'm so busy with work. Like one of the things I noticed with the older guys who went this time is they can't take a lot of time off work, right? Because
Mm,
their work maybe gives them a week, like two if you're lucky, or if you can work from home or something like that. So there's no good time, and it was really hard. And I think both of you guys were there to witness parts of that throughout this year too. But I gained it all back. But like even looking at my photos from last year when I visited Peace Sky in Malaysia in
mm,
2024, I like lost a lot of weight compared to then. But in
right.
like the 2, 3 weeks leading up to the blessing, I lost like so much weight. Like I've gained it back, but like I don't remember being that skinny in the last like 6 years or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, because it was like a
Well,
physical challenge. Like I had
your wife's not like, what happened?
Oh no, she is she has said that. No, but even that was according to the Holy Spirit too. Because when I lost that much weight, I had like I don't know what the dimples like up here are called, but I have like a dimple that pops up. But because I
Oh,
like
like
gained my
this.
weight back,
I have
yeah,
one
yeah,
right here.
like that little
Yeah.
thing, yeah, that one.
That's
No, the
not
But
one.
just
when I was
wrinkles.
Not. I don't look up here. Look here,
Sorry, I
right
couldn't see
there.
anything else.
Oh my gosh. Don't
underneath.
you remember Cabbage Patch Kids? They all had these dimples there.
How old do you think I am?
Yeah, girls
He
are
he
just
said it. He said 22. But yeah, but it was really hard, and I think being like my dad doesn't say this to me directly, but I think he relates it to my mom. But she was
Mm,
really worried because I was going so far from family, from church, from everywhere, like in Florida. And the
mm,
first year was actually like it was okay, it was manageable. I was doing a lot of things on my own, and then like being away, not even having a church, like even when I observe service, a lot of times I go to an empty classroom on Sunday,
right,
and it is really hard to set condition by yourself, right? And then
right.
over time you let certain things slip, um, and my dad was very concerned, like, oh, like he's gonna be there like all alone by himself. And
Mm.
so like having gone to the blessing, I realized like how big of a thing it is, right? Even though she's not there physically with me right now too, like imagining going through this second year without that, oh man, it would have been impossible. And so it's interesting because I would encourage other people if they want to go to something like grad school or something else to do it, but not to do it with a light heart because it's not easy. And I realize how much more that I need God throughout the whole process. But this year, at the end of this year, coming here to Korea, I'm realizing, like this week's message said, as like heaven and earth are coming together, it's so important for the earthly side to fulfill the spiritual thing. Because one of the things,
Mm,
I'll give an example, because when we did some ministry events in Florida, and people from other regions came, right? And that was a really great time. But after we connected these lives, we're trying to connect lecturers to teach them. And the lecturers were like, yeah, I'm fine with teaching them, but they called me and they frankly asked, like, what's your plan? Like, is your plan to stay in Florida after, like, what are you gonna do with these lives, right? Like, who's
mm,
going to take care of them, right? Because, and the lecturer was asking because they've been put in this situation many times where a remote life in like some like one of the 50 states somewhere was connected, and they're like, yeah, I'm fine with teaching them, but if I expend 40, 50 hours
mm.
preparing this life and then it disappears, like they've experienced that too many times before. And I told them frankly, like, I've had that same question too, right? Because it's not my plan to stay here in Gainesville. It's in the middle of nowhere. um, but as I was here in Korea and like praying about it, um, I realized like being hopeful about it and dealing with what's here in the moment is the biggest thing. Because there's like infinite questions about the future and about what will happen. But I'm really grateful to be put in a place of opportunity where it's new soil to plant new seeds. And I do hope that not just AP but all churches throughout the world keep having this kind of experience. Like, because, and Peace Guy, you may know this better too, but I don't
Mm.
know the last time that, like, whether it's America or Canada or a different region, when we really pioneer new places. Like, it seems like, we've kind of like established bases now, but we were
Mm.
not like pushing forward, like, and, Rachel and I were either not around or like one or two when people like PJ and other people were going to different regions and starting new churches and stuff like that. But we don't
Right,
really have that same feeling anymore. Um,
right.
and so I do think that there are huge risks to that. And it hasn't been easy. So I'm not saying to do that just wantonly and just easily, but even within our respective churches too, adopting that new mentality, like let's just do it kind of thing that we were talking about. Like Rachel, like even though we're not prepared, let's just go do it kind of thing is important wherever we are.
Yeah, from my experience, there's like these times where Sunstream is like go out, and then there's a time where Sunstream's like come back in, right? So there's always been those two different times that people have that Sunstream's really kind of like I talked to this one church in Japan, and they had this really, really big church. And then the leader was at a campfire, like a camp for their church. And then they were trying to set the log on fire, but the log
Mm.
was just too big. So what they did is they cut the log in half, and then it burned more. It burned more faster. And the realization this leader had was cut the church in half so that we can, do evangelism better. And that was like maybe 15 years ago. And so he's like,
Wow.
go ahead, do it, right? And then there's a time where Sun seems like bring them all together, and the churches were all combining and stuff too. It's the same with Korea. So I really think it's dependent upon the situation, circumstance, and what kind of heaven's direction is for each and every country. And I think every country is different too. So yeah, it would really be something that would have to be discussed. But I think it's something that's very, it you need that spiritual leader that will be able to kind of see what is better and what's best too.
Mhm.
Yeah. By the way, Eddie, your wife, if you can, we'll give you a few minutes as me and Rachel talk. You can just say, hey, can you come and say hi in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or something along that
I
line.
think she might agree to speak to you guys off recording, but I just saw her walk past and she's like fully just woken up, kind of crazy.
Well, no. She doesn't have to talk. She can just come and greet and say, hey,
I want
I
to see.
bel
I want to say
bel
hi.
hi, I belong to Eddie, and then she can leave. Yeah.
Sounds good.
But no, she doesn't have to do it now if she's in like just woken up mode.
You see
Yeah,
how
it'll
Eddie's
probably
face is different too when he's
Yeah.
talking to
yeah,
her?
it'll probably
Yeah.
be later.
Yeah. Yeah, your demeanor changed completely, bro.
It did.
Yeah, you went
He
into
touched
like,
into the feminine side.
yeah, you really did, bro.
But she really wanted to meet Peace Guy, so we were wondering if he'd still be here in the new year. But time. I think we've done this quite a lot, so you can
Yeah.
always
You
get
know,
lucky.
the interesting thing is when Eddie got blessed, I think it was her aunt. Her aunt saw me during a volleyball tournament and she's like started greeting me. It's like, hey, oh my niece and she got blessed with someone in the US. She's really good and she's really pretty and please take care of her. And I was kind of like
Aw.
going, who is this person? I was kind of like, what is going on? Right? But then later, later I was like, oh, okay. But I think I think she was a pastor.
Her husband is the head leader in like a church called Puya. It's kind of like it's in the countryside
Oh,
between
okay.
Myeongdong and Seoul.
Oh, okay.
He
Cool.
he was in headquarters for a long time actually, apparently.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I probably have to see the face and stuff like that too. Yeah.
It's the Morning Star Drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly. So let's realign, just listen and feel your mind.
I'm burning with desire and the passion. Nobody can stop me when I'm like this. I got my head in the zone, you know. I'm on the Morning Star Drive, you know. I'm burning with desire.